Gentlemen, congratulations on the Maquina.
Thank you.
Just to start off with, though, I want to talk about a film that's very dear to my heart, which is The Motorcycle Diaries. I saw that when I was maybe 16, 17. It was the first foreign language film I watched on the big screen in the cinema, and it was it really affected me about what cinema can be, the scope. It was beautifully shot, the storytelling, and it's a film that stayed with me for a long, long time, and it was a bit of a kind of a coming-of-age experience as an audience member. And it just made me think, especially with the parallels with this, what project you feel like you came of age on. I know you did Itumama Tambien before that. Was that the film, or even The Motorcycle Diaries?
No, coming of age, definitely Itumama Tambien. It is that. It encompasses the whole coming of age thing of us being... you were 19, I was 20, no? Yeah, and we were shooting it, and we started to work in films, started to discover the magic of cinema, no? Started to discover the way of making it as well, and it was a very thorough and very entertaining way of getting to know cinema as such. So that's when we both. That's when it happened for us, that it was like, okay, we might have, let alone a career, a desire to have a career in cinema. No, we wanted to, at that point we decided, let's do more cinema, let's do more of this. And the opportunities came about after the films came out, because we hadn't done any film that had that kind of resonance. So that was the main coming of age. And then maybe when you're young, it happens to us, but it happens to everyone, I guess. Also, it's like many of the stories are about a coming of age kind of thing. So you always end up falling into that kind of. And now we are maybe in a coming of age of like with a story of coming of age of realizing that there's a boxer that the career needs to end, and the problem is, how do we say goodbye? You know, how do we finish that career, no? Which is a very short life, the lives of athletes. So yeah, in a way they are all coming of age, and I'm taking that expression very literally, because I'm translating it from English to Spanish, you know, the kind of like pérdida de la inocencia, no? Like a loss of innocence in a way.
And I think it's definitely Tu Mamá También, because we were old enough to be talking about something we had the perspective and the objectivity to actually reflect on. No, it wasn't like that we were going through that in our lives, but in cinema, yes, we were. You know, as filmmakers, we were going through that. We were realizing we had those tools that we were capable of doing that. But at the same time, we were telling the story of younger guys, right? When they were 17, 16 years old in the film, and we were 19, 20. So we had a little bit of distance to actually be making a comment.
It's funny because we felt that we look older, no? We kind of no, we were wondering, like, maybe we're not good for the characters anymore because we look a little bit older.
And 10 years later, they kept telling us, like, do you want to do this film about these 17-year-olds? But that's over now.
One thing I love about cinema is just remembering where you were when you saw certain films, like what your mindset was, because it's you can feel like you've got certain things figured out at one point, then you watch the same film 10 years, 20 years later, and it has such a different impact on you. You're almost scared to kind of watch things back because you don't want to tamper with the way it made you feel at that particular time. Let's talk about where we are now. You're right, it is a kind of coming of a different age, and you deal with not so much your own like mortality, but your own like frailties in this. It made me interested. You got such different characters. Was there a debate in the development of this going, okay, you're going to be the boxer, am I going to be the guy with the Botox? Like, how did those characters kind of come about, and how much of a struggle, how comfortable were you kind of inhabiting them?
Diego and the prosthetics have a magnetism that was impossible to break.
Yeah, very difficult
to break, yes. So there was no...
very difficult to leave them behind. I still wear them sometimes when I'm alone. No, it was clear from the beginning. When we decided to do this project was 10 years ago, or something around these characters, because back then it was a different project that we had in mind. And he was coming from training for he loved boxing and training for boxing, but he was coming out of an experience where he was training for a film that didn't happen for him, and I was coming from doing a documentary on a Mexican boxer, one of the greatest, Julio Cesar Chavez, and we sat together and we went through a film festival and the craziness of a film festival. And like every festival, you come out saying, I need to do something, right? I need to be able to get something back on that screen, you know? And we were talking about this idea. Let's do something with the idea of a boxer, but at the end of his career. That was from the beginning there, you know? Like not the classical story of seeing someone reach a peak, you know? But what happens, you know, when you are there and you have to let go, you know? And it was clear who was playing what. And I think it always happens. I've never been like, if you think about it, we've never been in a project where it's like,
who plays who?
like it's clear from the genesis of the project, you know. When Y Tu Mamá También, Gael was casted already, and I was casting with him, you know, and therefore I was playing the other guy, and then in Rudo y Cursi it was clear who was who, and here it's the same, and it's interesting because the two reflections complement each other, you know. Is these two characters trying to, you know, to hold something that is they're just not capable of let go, you know.
Those two things complement each other. Do you think that's the secret to your sort of real life friendship and partnership over the years, and why it's worked, and why you've gone off and done different things, but you've sort of been able to signal back to each other at different points? Do you not feel you've competed in your careers?
We compete in many things, but not in our careers.
Not in our careers, yeah.
And the few times that has happened that we've been like competing, not because we want or we even know, we've managed to find a way to talk to each other and say like, you know, you're not gonna do it, I'll do it. You like, you know, to like, you know, let others think that we are competing for something that in fact we are like discussing on the back, you know. Because it has happened. Like I got this call, I did too. Okay, are you doing it? No. Okay, me neither then.